found ourselves in Spoiler City once again, haven't we, boys?
Woo!
Yeah, here we
Raise the
are.
roof.
Yeah, and we have a stacked panel clearly in front of us. Jacob Hubbard once again comes back to the channel. One of my dear friends that I've made on here through this medium in the 4 years, almost 4 years I've been doing this. My friend, how have you been doing? Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
crazy.
God. Don't start me off like that. I feel old. I remember your first video, Zach. Oh, little
No,
Survivor. Was
shut
it
up.
Survivor? Was it Survivor? Or
Pepper
it was
Salt
God, yeah.
remembers.
It was like an intro video, and then it was me and my brother talking about Survivor 40. And like that was before I ever did a movie review. And then I was like, I could get on this movie review like hype train. Like I love movies, and like that's my favorite form of art. And like, I mean, people kept watching me, and you lovely people that are watching right now kept coming back. So I mean, Jacob's been doing it longer than I have. So it's wild. It's wild to think about how far this has come, man. But how have you been?
Oh, yes. Oh, I've been busy, my friend. This past 2 weeks, I have been seeing so many movies, and these next 2 more weeks until the mid of December, I have finals for school. So yeah, it is a whole bunch right now, but don't worry, I'm still seeing every movie as I can. And if my internet's sucking right now, audience, it's because my Godzilla -1 review render is rendering and I just stopped it. So that's why it's going to be a late review, but I'm here with the beautiful Zacks and I'm excited.
Yeah, you can see I'm not the only Zack in the room. I am bringing Zack Attacks reviews onto my channel for the first time, believe it or not. We collabed over on our buddy Zach Milne's channel. It was, I mean, Jacob called it a legendary podcast, and I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, that's just like, like I don't want him to stroke any ego I have. But Attacks, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm not gonna say it's legendary, but I had a fun ass time. That was so much fun. And I'm sure we're gonna have just as much fun together here.
It was absolutely ridiculous. Go check his channel out and go listen to that podcast because it gets wild. It flies off the rails so much. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun chat over here. In case y'all are new, go ahead and subscribe to these two lovely people. I have left links to their channels down in the description box below. And go ahead and give my channel a sub. Also, I'm on the road to 2,000, of course. Smash that thumbs up as well. That would be a humongous favor. But boys, the MCU, where do we even begin at this point? Phase 5, people are fatigued. They're sick of the MCU. I guess it's the cool thing to hate on them now. But I don't know about you. I think both projects tonight were both at least solid. Both projects we're talking about tonight, at least. And I'll go ahead and start with Attacks on this one. Overall thoughts, like where do you think the MCU sits now as opposed to where it was during the Infinity Saga?
So I'm going to attack this in 2 ways. I'm going to talk about how I personally feel and then how I can see like how other people feel that's not me, because a lot of times my opinion doesn't align with the public. So personally, I love Phase 4. I can't say I love Phase 5 because it's not done yet, but I love Phase 4. I think it's one of the best phases that we had compared to like Phase 1 and 2.
I like
Phase
it.
3 is still the best. And then with Phase 5, we haven't had that many projects yet. So I can't really be determined like, oh, this is trash. But I gotta say that we've got some stinkers in there that has in Phase 5 compared to Phase 4 with Secret Invasion and Ant-Man Quantumania, which is a movie I kind of enjoyed, but just wasn't up to the hype level. But things like Loki, things like the Marvels, things like Miss Marvel, things like WandaVision are so creative, and a lot of people for years complain. They do cookie cutter, they copy and paste, everything's the same, there's nothing different, let the directors direct. And then Kevin Feige is like, okay, I'll do that. And they're like, no, don't give us what we wanted, go back to what we said we didn't want.
I can honestly, I feel like we should put some more respect on Eternals just based off of that logic right there. Because like
I actually like Eternals. So.
Just in terms of the filmmaking alone, not to get on too much of a tangent, Jacob, I'll get to you in a second, but Eternals to me still is like top 5 MCU movie just in terms of the filmmaking alone. Just in terms of the filmmaking. I'm not talking about in terms of the story because it's all over the place, but the filmmaking is top tier for me.
Yeah.
But Jacob, what do you think of the state of the MCU right now?
Man,
It's
man,
wild.
oh man. Oh boy.
Wild,
Okay.
huh?
So yeah, I want to keep reminding everybody just before I get started. If I glitch, it's literally just because my internet. I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna keep fighting. I'm fighting for it. But here we go. Marvel, Marvel, Marvel. I will agree with Mr. Zack Attacks, which, by the way, go subscribe to his channel. I freaking love his videos. Go watch them.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
so, oh man, that's such a loaded question, Mr. Zack. Oh, God. Okay.
Gotta start with the heavy hitters, man.
Well,
Gotta start with the
so
heavy hitters.
like that's the thing. I can tell you this. Loki season 2, I have not felt the love of Marvel in a while watching that. That was pure, that was it. That was what I love. But in all honesty, I am going to stand my ground. I do believe the Disney Plus shows have ruined a lot of Marvel. And the only reason is because of one key word, and I've heard it from everybody, and I think it's true. Nobody likes homework. And I believe every movie,
Yeah.
every show is connecting, and it feels like Marvel's putting the audience saying, you need to watch WandaVision. You need to watch Miss Marvel. You need to watch Captain Marvel. You might as well watch Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man for little stuff and that in the Marvels, and we'll get into all of it. But like, I just think next year is going to be so cool for one Marvel movie, and that's it. We can all just focus on
Yeah.
one Marvel movie.
And it's a
So
big one. It's a big one with all the delays that are going on. They're putting out Deadpool 3. And that's a sentence I never thought I would say in my life. MCU putting out a Deadpool movie. That's
A rated
like,
R one.
yeah,
yes, a rated R one.
Easily top of my list next year with Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But I think you're
We're gonna get
absolutely
2
right.
shows. So we're gonna get
Mhm.
3 projects in total, which is gonna, and they're spaced out. We're getting one
Yeah.
in January, then May, and then November. So so much breathing room.
Yeah, so much breathing room. And like even then, Marvel is still giving us, they're rewarding us as fans. Like if you've been paying attention throughout the entire saga, like they don't insult your intelligence and they will basically reward you for basically being in the entire ride. So it's cool. It's cool. I mean, like that's why I love Marvel too. Like it's such a vast world. I feel like there's something in this for everybody. And I think these 2 shows right here, it's strange because like Loki season 2 is such a fantastic thriller in my opinion, like almost like a spy flick in a lot of ways. It's a really weird science fiction like spy hybrid in my eyes. And then the Marvels is just pure popcorn fun. Like the trailers itself, I don't know if you guys start seeing these trailers, but like the commentary that's going over everything, and they're talking about like how this person is the biggest fan of her superheroes and now she's joining up with them. Like I was seeing that trailer for freaking ever and I was like, this is a 90s trailer right here. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so freaking cool. But before we continue getting into the good stuff, I got to say what's up to the chat. What's up, G Colby P? It's been a while. Yes, absolutely. Interested to talk about one of the best things the MCU put out and the Marvels. I almost said and Loki, but I wasn't going to have that hot take right now. I was not going to say that the Marvels. I'm not going to say that the Marvels is the best thing the MCU has ever put out because it's not. It's absolutely not. Jovan, how you doing, my friend? Bam is what he says. Completely agree, Jacob, on the homework aspect. Attack, I think this is going to be a big topic of debate once the Marvels actually comes around, huh?
Yeah. I think
huge.
I have a lot to say about that.
I do too, guys. I do too. Again, I don't think it's a bad movie, but I have stuff to say about that movie.
Oh man, yeah, I've got stuff to say about it too. Luke Ponto is currently doing a watch along for Color Out of Space, according to the chat. He wanted to stop in quick and show his support. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. I always appreciate Luke. He's always been so kind since the beginning. Oh, Lindsay hasn't seen Eternals, guys. Do you think she's missing out?
I do.
It's a very loaded question.
No, at this moment, because nothing from that movie has connected, and I think it's a subpar movie. So no, you're not missing anything.
Oh, so conflicting. This is gonna be fun. But should we just dig into it, boys? Should we just dig into Loki season 2?
Start with a good
Man.
thing. Start with the good thing.
Let's start with the good thing. The whole theme you see on the stream here, it's
Oh.
HD. You have the picture of Loki behind us. It's all greened out and everything. Yeah, I'm not changing it for the Marvels. You bet your ass I'm not going to change it because Loki's a superior product. But Hubbard, I'll start with you, man. You like, do you think we're going to get a season 3 at this point? Because they've been hyping up season 2, and like, yeah, this is a big spoiler. This is a big spoiler for everybody. So I'm just gonna go down the line and just see if we all answer the same way. Is there gonna be a season 3? Yes or no?
No.
No.
No freaking way, because it is the perfect button, everybody. Loki is the new He Who Remains. I'm just gonna cut right to the chase. This whole it's a brilliant, like, it's such a great 2-act structure, I think. It's like watching a great piece of Shakespearean theater. You know, you go and you finish the first season, you're left on this big cliffhanger, you have a 2-year intermission, and then you get the conclusion and the payoff. It's just, I love it. I loved it so much.
Infinity War Endgame kind of situation.
Infinity War Endgame. But, I mean, with that being said, Attack, I mean, how did you feel like watching this week by week, and how did you feel like actually seeing everything unfold?
I do think that this would have been better to binge than watch week by week. I think each episode I was watching week by week, I was like, okay, this is better than season 1, but still I'm like, where is this going? What are they doing? Sylvie, she kind of has nothing to do in this show anymore. But then when you see that last episode and see how everything comes together and everything mattered, and they just nail it in a level that I didn't think could be nailed. They like slammed the hammer down 1,000 times and just nailed it with that ending. It made everything retroactively awesome.
Yeah. It's awesome. I love this show so much. Yeah, I honestly couldn't pick which season is better. I could not pick which season is better. I think they're both equally as great. If you put them together as one gigantic story, I think it's the best show that the MCU's put out. 100%. But Jacob, how did you feel watching this week by week?
So I watched the show with my mom, and so for the first few episodes, we actually did do 1, 2, 3 like back to back. And then I think from 4 on, we did it week by week. So it wasn't the worst thing, but I'll tell you, when episode 5 ended, I was like, motherfucker! I was like, where is episode 6? Yeah, I mean, just like what you both said, I can't I think season 1 and season 2 really, I really want to watch both of them through 12 straight episodes back to back. Like, I want to experience that, because I think what the world they did with the TVA, they gave the character development to all of the characters, even though I do agree with Mr. Zack Attack on the Sophie in season 2 felt a very little, but I can tell you this, I think this is truly the best Marvel thing we've gotten this year besides Guardians 3. And it
easily.
And I just, man, the ending, like the finale, like I think I saw people say on Twitter, the finale is honestly some of the perfect Marvel products we've ever gotten, and I agree with it. I think that finale is beautifully directed, the score, the characters, the ending, and what the show's doing with the theme of Loki, like, oh man, and there's so much little details there that we're going to talk more about through each episode. But I will say, to rephrase your question, Mr. Goller, on are we getting to season 3? The real question is, are we done with Tom Hiddleston? Is this it? Are we done with him?
Oh, you know, I think in terms of him appearing like regularly, maybe, but I think there's definitely some points like in the multiverse saga down the line, because Loki, I feel like, is going to be a very important project for these 3 phases all put together when it's all said and done. But with him being the new He Who Remains, I think that definitely makes him factor into Secret Wars, makes him factor into the Kang Dynasty as well, makes him kind of oversee all this chaos that's going on. And then maybe he has to be the one who is like, hey, I'm going to come in and fix everything, because he's a hero now. And it's like, there's no question. This is a phenomenal redemption arc for Tom Hiddleston's character. And he was so freaking good. Like
Oh yeah.
he's come such a long way as an actor, I think. But um in terms of like short answer, are we going to see Tom Hiddleston again in this universe? Yes. Um and I think the better question is, how does he factor in, like, going into the Avengers movies that we're going to get and then beyond, because Multiverse Saga supposedly ends with Secret Wars. And then where do we go after that? Like, maybe Tom Hiddleston is done after Secret Wars, but
Yeah.
who knows,
So
really?
so how I'm gonna answer this for myself, I'm gonna say it. I think he's done for a good while. Now, I
Mm.
think if you're gonna bring him back, it has to be Secret Wars. It has to be Kang. Like, those are the projects I could only see him come into. Besides that, my theory from the beginning always was, okay, so I guess season 2 of Loki is going to end with the beginning of the multiverse. This is how we're going to get the X-Men. This is how we're going to get Deadpool. That was always I was thinking. But then the Marvels happened, and I was like, so is that how we're getting the multiverse? Because I'm a little confused on what they're doing with the actual multiverse. With, like, how are we going to get these characters here to here? And I thought Loki was going to do that, but he's kind of controlling it now, right? Like, he's sitting there,
Right.
he's got him controlled. So are we going to see him again? Like, did Tom Hiddleston come out and say I'm done, or did anything like that? Because honestly, at this moment, I'm okay if he's done. Honestly.
Yeah,
He
this
hinted
is
towards being done.
yeah, he hinted
Um,
towards it, but I mean, it's a big theme, and I'm sure Attacks might understand this reference. Never say never. It honestly wouldn't be the most surprising thing in the world if Tom Hiddleston comes back, because I've seen far more
I agree.
surprising things in my in my time
just
as a
this past
critic.
week.
But yeah, but in any regard, yeah, this whole season, this was all about basically Loki fixing up the rift that we saw at the end of season 1. This whole big gigantic beam is being just like spliced open, and it's very strategic in a sense how they're going to figure out how to close this thing up, and a lot of this strategy is done. Like, this is what I find very interesting about this show, Attacks. It's just low-key talking with Mobius. Just those little scenes of him and Mobius talking. It's so captivating. I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but like all the action sequences in here, like those did not hold a candle to the dialogue sequences in my eyes, at least. But
I agree. I
well,
don't think they put as much effort into the action. So they put a lot of effort into the visuals and the sci-fi coolness and the one-on-one conversations and relationships. The action is kind of there because we have to have it,
of course,
because it's an action-based franchise. But I think always feel like that's the third thing. There was never action sequence in this. I was like, oh, that's so dope. I was like, nah. But
yeah,
Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston need to go do something else together. They have amazing chemistry together.
yes,
And
yeah.
honestly, now I'm thinking about it, it might just be Tom Hiddleston because he has great chemistry with everybody in this show. He has great chemistry with Ki Kai Kwan. I probably say his name wrong.
We'll get to him. We'll get to
Obi.
him for sure.
The person part the TVA, the black lady with the short hair. I'm forgetting her name right now. MB8 or something like that. He has great chemistry with her. He just has great chemistry with everyone, and these one-on-one conversations that he have with everyone just make you. And I think this is one of the things that the MCU is kind of like missing in certain projects. Makes you connect with them on a personal level, even though they're doing these crazy godly things.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I gotta say what's up to 80s kid from the 90s in the chat as well. How you doing, my friend?
Yay.
Yeah. Lindsay, this is an interesting comment. Being done with Tom Hiddleston, I think that depends on if you count the new season of What If coming out, because he might be in that. But yeah, no, I mean, it seems like everybody's forgetting about What If season 2 being put out into the open, but I don't know how big of a factor that's going to play into the whole big picture of the multiverse saga, because it's a whole different style of entertainment. It's animation, and it's like, I don't want to say it's bonus material from Marvel, but hey, they somehow managed to weave all the episodes of season 1 together. But yeah, so Jacob, this whole arc of Mobius in this series was just so freaking tragic. Like, he has never seen the outside of the TVA. And even though we as the viewer think it's such a cool place, like, didn't you just want to see him get out? It's just wild.
Oh, okay. So to answer that and really discuss more of it, first off, I have not watched What If. I'm one of those. I just don't really care to watch it. I've heard good things. I've never watched it. I just don't care to. But anyways, Owen Wilson. First off, I can't remember the last time I've seen him be this good. And with this character, obviously, I think all three of us sat here and said in season 1 when he first talked about what is it? The boat, the little
skis.
what is jet ski? Yeah, couldn't think of the
Yeah.
word jet ski. As soon as he said that word, I was like, okay. Before the end of this show, whenever that is, because in season 1, I was like, I don't know how many seasons gonna go. I was thinking we're going to see Owen Wilson on jet ski. In episode 5, when we get to see his other variation of him being a man in a jet ski store and seeing his family, I think it really hits home more of his character in episode 6, especially the conversation he has with Loki before Loki decides to go out into the doors. So I think really you take the character of what O. Wilson did with Mobius. I think it's a really good friendship, but to where it came from the series premiere, for being a person saying, hey, Loki, you're a bad guy. We're going to make you a good guy. I'm going to be your partner, to where we are now. I'm really, really hoping we're not done with his character. I think Loki's character is solid, but I truly think Owen Wilson's character is so good that I think they're gonna use him in Deadpool 3 somehow.
Yeah. I actually have read up that Mobius is actually in the Deadpool 3 cast. So
I've
how he
heard that rumor
factors
too.
into that, how he
I think the
factors
whole
into
TVA
that.
might be in it.
I think so too. I think Deadpool will. I think we'll see Deadpool in the TVA. I think we will. But I feel like that's
Could you
how he's.
imagine Deadpool making jokes about missed minutes? Like, just,
Oh my god! Especially
like,
after that freaky stuff she did in season 2. Oh my god!
Give me some more of that, please. Give me some more of that. But yeah, no, I'm with you, man. Like, it's crazy because Owen Wilson is known more for doing comedies, right? Like Wedding
100%.
Crashers, like all this good stuff. Like, you know, everybody knows him as freaking Lightning McQueen for God knows what reason. But yeah, so he comes in and he just proves that he's got those dramatic chops, man. Even though he has that iconic, you know, the wowisms, like it's great. It's great to see that out of him, and it's great to see him like break that, not stigmatism, but like whatchamacallit, the public perception of him, I guess.
The typecast that he always gets.
Yeah. I mean, even though Mobius is definitely more comic relief compared to Loki, and he's a great person to play off of Loki, like, yeah, definitely. I enjoyed his art very much.
Yeah,
Sylvie
Owen Wilson proves that
Owen Wilson
comedians are
great.
great dramatic actors. We keep seeing that comedians can do dramatic stuff, but like dramatic actors can't go back to comedy and just become a comedian. Like, it's so hard to do comedy, and they do such a great job doing dramatic stuff.
Yeah, it's an art. Yeah, Mobius is a fantastic character. He was very fascinating. Sylvie, on the other hand, to Attack's point, not really as much of a interesting arc as she had in season 1. I think she was just mainly there as a plot device. She was mainly there as a person who Loki was infatuated with, and Loki was like, hey, we need you to come on this journey with us, even though you kind of screwed everything up for us last time. We need you. And Sylvie is like working at McDonald's now. She's a cashier, and I've never seen a happier cashier at McDonald's in my life. Like, it was so, I'm like, bro, you lost me there. There's no way that a McDonald's cashier could be that happy. But in the context of Sylvie, it makes sense because she wanted to see more of that outside life, you know. But Attacks, do you want to go off on Sylvie a little bit? Because you have some things to say about her. But
that's like one of the only negatives for season 2 that I have, is that they did a thing where you have a very interesting character in season 1 that has get a thing done, and you're having fun following he or she through that journey, and then they do it in season 1, and then they like, oh, we only plan to have them in season 1, but they're so popular, we're going to bring them back in season 2, and then they have nothing to do in it. She literally has nothing to do in the show. They keep talking about, we need you, but I don't remember a part of this whole thing happening where they actually needed her. I don't remember her doing anything. I think if you took her out of the plot would almost happen exactly the same.
it was just an extra set of hands. It was just an
Yeah.
extra set of hands, you know, and she wasn't as fascinating as she was, definitely. But yeah, it's crazy because I'm seeing some people are like, oh, Sylvie's such a cool character. She should get a spin-off, you know. I'm seeing Jovan in the comments said Renslayer should get a spin-off. And like I would even put Renslayer in that category for this season.
Yeah.
Like Renslayer just seems like, you know, every time they would say the word Renslayer, I'm like, who? I had to remind myself who that was. You know, it's just I had to like Wikipedia, and I was like, oh yeah, this is Jacob's homework that he mentioned. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why she was important in season 1, you know. But yeah, again, Jacob, I don't know about you, but Renslayer seems like another set of hands in addition to Sylvie. But
I'm not even kidding you. I don't know who you're talking about, and I'm looking it up. Renslayer?
That is
her!
the funniest crap I've heard all week. That was amazing.
I'm not even kidding you. I was like, who are you talking about? Are you talking about like the one guy from Blind Spotting? That guy? I was like, is that his name? And then you said her. Oh, yeah. What? She was like interesting in episode 3 for like one good scene. And then at the very end of episode 3, or is it episode 3 or 4 that she's stuck alone? And Miss Mintz is like, I gotta tell you something. That was the only time I was interested in her character. I was like, who is she? Is she like Kang's girlfriend? Oh, Kang's lying to her. Oh, wait, Kang's got this idea and she's kind of doing his dirty work. So yeah, who the hell said they need a spinoff with her? I'm sorry. No, thank you. I just looked her up. I was like, who are you talking about?
Right? Sorry. Hey, listen, everyone's entitled to their opinions. Yeah, Renslayer was cool in season 1, but I just didn't think she was all that interesting this time around. But yeah, I gotta say what's up, by the way, to Spoiler Kings and Kal-El Daily in the chat. I love that. And Kal-El is like, oh no, more than one Zack. Cool panel. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, Spoiler Kings, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, Renslayer. God, yeah, not very interesting. You want to talk about an interesting character though? OB. Like, like I watched this week by week with Lindsay, and she will be the first one to tell you I was the biggest fanboy over OB. Like, just sitting here as someone who grew up watching The Goonies, watching Temple of Doom, and this is like the comeback that I love seeing. You know, Ke Huy Quan just won an Oscar last year for Everything Everywhere, and here he is in a Marvel project. And again, it looks like he is having the time of his freaking life. I don't know about you, Jacob, but he definitely is just, his enthusiasm is so endearing. It really is.
So when he got first announced to be in the show, I was like, okay, so Marvel's hitting that hot pocket right now. They said, this guy's about to win an Oscar. We want you in our show. And I was kind of scared he was going to be such a side character, but this show wrote his character perfectly into this group and really used him as the TVA's guidebook, literally and physically.
Literally, yeah.
I mean, without him, I truly think all of the timed stuff that Loki himself was learning wouldn't be as interesting without Ke Huy Quan. And I think he really adds so much to this season. His performance is great, but his character felt so important that, like, once again, I hope we see him in Deadpool 3. I want to see him again. I hope he's not.
God.
I would love to see it.
Don't tempt me with a good time. Don't tempt me with a good time right now. But
him in an R-rated setting sounds fun.
Yes.
Yeah, because he would probably refuse to curse, because I don't know if you have heard this story attacks, because your gimmick is basically going back and watching old movies for the first time. Have you seen The Goonies? Add it to your list. Add it to your list. That's his homework right there. But
that's a good one.
So The Goonies, all those kids are cursing up a storm, just like Bad News Bears, right? And Ke Huy Quan's mother insisted that he not curse on screen because he was like 10 years old at the time. So his only curse word that is written for him in the script, he spells out, and it actually works. You know, it's so fan-freaking-tastic, you know?
That's
and
amazing.
I feel like Deadpool would have a field day because Deadpool has definitely seen the Goonies, calling Cable One-Eyed Willie and all that, but it's just, it's, God. Yeah, spoiler kinks, I agree with you. Kikiwi Kwan needs to be protected at all costs. He needs to be in more projects. I need more OB. Yeah, this is an interesting question. Jovan once again for attacks here. As much as he loves OB, wasn't he at times a bit of an exposition dump? Did you feel like he was a bit of an exposition dump, attacks?
1000%. But there's a difference between exciting exposition dump or boring exposition dump. And he was exciting because it was needed for us to understand the plot. Sometimes there's boring ones where we're like, we know this already. Why are you doing this? But I don't know any of this information, and you're funny and charismatic as hell. So.
And the way he explains everything away is just, you can't help but be gravitated towards him too. Like,
he's like that smart guy that explains things to normal people about like science stuff that's way too far out of our range.
He's like that really cool physics teacher I had in high school. Like, you know, just it's a boring subject. So, like, no offense to people who like physics and all that, but it's, you know, it's just not for me. But I had a really cool teacher back then, and he would just explain that stuff away like there was no tomorrow. Kikiwi Kwan reminded me a lot of that, and just how he presented that material is just fantastic. And again, the way he was written, Jacob alluded to it. He is literally the guidebook to the TVA. Yes. That's because he is the best-selling author of the TVA Employee Handbook. And it's amazing. It's such a funny, like, running joke throughout the series. And every time someone asks OB for his autograph and how excited he is to, like, give out his autograph to the employees, it's just so funny. Like, it's just so freaking original. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it. What is going on with you, chat? You've never seen the Goonies?
I was about to say, why is there so many people telling me they haven't seen the Goonies? What?
Oh my God.
A lot of old movies that a lot of people haven't seen, man.
Goonies is goated. Thank you. 80s kid from the 90s. Thank you.
That, honestly, oh God, I can't. Oh, my gut can't say it. I was gonna say I might want to watch the Goonies over Sandlot, but damn, the Sandlot's such a summer vibe. Sandlot and Goonies to me are the same equal. I could watch any day, night time. Like, it's just, both movies are just adventurous, fun childhood. And if you love the Sandlot, you're going to love the Goonies. Mr. Zack Attack, please tell me you've seen the Sandlot.
No,
I never even heard of it before. That was the first time I've heard of the movie since you said.
Wait,
I've heard of Goonies. I've heard of Goonies, but I've never heard of Sandlot.
You've never even heard of the Sandlot, baseball, Babe Ruth? You're killing me, Smalls.
I've heard that saying before.
Baby Ruthie?
I don't know what that is.
Forever.
You know what? I know a lot of people that haven't seen a ton of movies. And Zack Attack, this is why I love watching your channel, because I love seeing your reviews, because you're giving the honest reviews. I might disagree hard as fudge with your Indiana Jones reviews, but sir, watch The Sandlot, please. I think it's 20. It came out in '93. Yeah, Zack Goller reviewed it freaking this year. Watch it, anniversary right now.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
There was a second one.
It's not good. Don't watch the second one. Don't watch the second one. Just watch the first one.
It's like a direct to Disney DVD release, but in any regard, where were we? Freaking Kikiwi Kwan. Yeah. So I would love to see him in Deadpool 3. I'm so with you guys, because again, I feel like Deadpool would joke until no end that Data still is in a rated R movie and he refuses to, like, you know, Jacob, you're tempting me with a really good time, my friend. But OB, again, I don't want to say it's like an inconsequential, like, addition to the show, but he, again, like, I don't think these guys would be able to navigate the TVA as well as they do if they hadn't have run across OB. He's such a cool character. So smart, so intelligent, unlike, you know, a lot of the other dweebs that we've come across in Marvel. But yeah. So do you want to open up this can of worms? Do you want to open up the Jonathan Majors can of worms, guys?
I knew it was coming. I knew it was
Yeah.
coming. I knew it was coming.
You know, the way they kind of left his character, if we never saw King the Conqueror again, I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed. I mean, Victor Timely again. I'm not gonna discredit the performance at all because Majors. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Phenomenal actor, but
Yep.
again, it's like he put Marvel in a really terrible like pickle when he got in trouble. So it's just sitting here right now. I'm like, if you had wrapped him up in this, in just this stretch of episodes, you can leave that open ended, and just depending on how his hearing goes, like it's fine. But again, it's a really, really, really tough situation. But Jacob, what did you think of Victor Timely and the tie-in to Quantum Mania?
So this is coming from a person. Also, pause real quick. I just want to say, if for the 30 minutes we've been in here, if anyone's just now joining, if my internet sucks, it's because my internet's sucking right now. Sorry. Go back to the chat. All right. Anyways, so to answer your question, Jonathan Majors, great actor, and him in this series felt important. I would say felt so important to the story. Ki Kwan, even though yes, exposition dump, but like Zack Attack says, it was entertaining, and Ki Kwan's performance was so good, which what Zach Goller said is it all worked together really well. When it comes to Victor Timely, his plot point is so important that Marvel had to use his storyline in this season, and they had to have Kang in this finale. So Jonathan Majors, fantastic in this show. Like Victor Timely, I mean, I felt like in episode 5 when or was it 4? I forget. When he gets evaporated, I was like, holy crap, did they just kill him? I was like, no, they did not. No, they did not.
And then the next episode, I think it's the finale or one of them, like there's a whole sequence where they just kill him over and over and over and over again the same way. Like they turn him into like Reed Richards' blue spaghetti from Multiverse of Madness, like it's the same sort of effects, and that's just what it made me think of. But
I will say, so I'm confused, and I would love your guys. I really want your guys' opinion because not a lot of people are really talking about this. So here it is. In the finale, we see young Victor Timely in his room or his house, whatever. And remember in episode 3, the freaking random girl I can't remember her name. I don't remember. She puts it. Whatever. Whatever. She puts. What does she put in the freaking window? The book.
The handbook. Yeah. The handbook. Yeah.
So in the finale, he doesn't get the book. So is that Marvel's little like he's kind of gone now? Is that what they're doing?
Victor Timely's gone, yeah. Well, at least the version that we saw.
Yeah,
but this is a multiverse though. This is the multiverse though, and as the Quantum Mania showed you, there's like a million Kang variants out there right now. So
they basically disposed of one version. Like Victor Timely was the least one they had to worry about because he was actually nice.
You know what? That makes sense. And after I watched it, I said to myself, is that Marvel doing that? But when you guys say it like that, I can see what you guys say. But either way, whatever happens to Jonathan Majors, he was great in this show. Victor Timely was such a nice character put in a horrible situation, but his performance really elevated it. Episode 3, I mean, that's literally his episode. It wasn't my favorite. That was my least favorite episode because of the pacing, but his performance in that episode is like the reason that episode's even like considered good is because of him.
But even still, like I loved that whole aesthetic and the whole idea of the MCU jumping back in time 200 years ago. Like, because all the production value and the costume design, it was just so neat to see that out of a comic book movie. And the fact that they're just sitting here and they're at an old-timey magic show.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild. I mean, call it what you will. If it's another Endgame time heist, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's another time heist. But do you have any thoughts about Victor Timely attacks?
I think at first it didn't work for me. Like that episode 3, and now that Jacob said that, I think it was the pacing of the episode and not Jonathan Majors' performance. I think that's just that episode was paced weird. But as the season went on and he came back after he got shredded, I really started liking his character because he was this character that wanted to be heroic but didn't have the opportunity, didn't know how. And when he finally had the chance, he sacrificed himself for the greater good of people he does not know. Like, he just got pulled into this randomly one day, doesn't know anybody. He's just like, I'll do it. That's a sign of a character I like, someone that's just good for good. And I think what makes Jonathan Majors' performance great as Victor Timely is his performance as He Who Remains in this. I love his performance as He Who Remains in this compared to season 1. Like, season 1 finale wasn't as strong for me. I know a lot of people loved it. I didn't really like the execution of it, but
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
but I really love He Who Remains in this season, and just seeing the two different like he was two different people. You know, Jonathan Majors is playing it so well, where it's like, yeah, that could be two completely different people, and I would believe it. So he was fantastic throughout the season and elevated it.
He's like that parasite that just won't get out of your life, and just the fact that he's just playing it as such, freaking marvelous. If no pun intended there, but this show just gave me everything I wanted out of it. Like, it exceeded my expectations, certainly.
Yes.
It all wraps up with Loki getting his throne. That basically there's no hope for these guys. Like, they cannot close this big beam and, like, set the multiverse right or whatever it was. It was a pretty confusing setup, ironically, from OB. But Loki then has like some weird like revelation and epiphany that he is a god. And there's this, like, we didn't even talk about this, but he had been glitching more than Jacob Hubbard was when we joined in. But he had been glitching so much through like the entire series, and he was able to. They call this time jumping, right? And it
time flipping.
Yeah, it scared the living daylights out of my girlfriend as we were watching it, because she was like, no, that's like horror. That's like horror. I'm like, yeah, this is cool.
Body horror.
Yes.
This is so cool. But he eventually figures out that this is all a part of his destiny and all a part of his power, and he decides to basically sacrifice himself and his future to go out there, be a god, close the beam, and it's just such beautiful imagery, and like the color green everywhere, just as he's tying up all these multiverses, literally the multiversal branches. It's beautiful symbolism, and just the camera zooming in on him as he's sitting there and everybody's happy. Just, what were your thoughts on this as you were seeing this ending unfold, Hubbard? Like,
so before I forget, I just want to mention this. You said horror and such. Episode 5, or was it 4? I forget. I can't even forget when the worlds are dissolving, whatever, and she's in the record store and she's laying there and the place is dissolving. I loved that scene. Anyways,
that was so dope.
The end of season 2 and maybe the end of Loki, man, it just felt so like the writing, like it's just because I don't know if you guys watch the previously. My mom does, because she always forgets everything. So before the episode started, it starts with previously, and it starts with the previously with Thor 1 and Avengers. And I was like, ooh, why are they showing that in the previously? So instantly I'm like, oh no, Loki, don't kill Loki, don't kill Loki. And so for it to end the way he always said in the future, or in the first Avengers movie, I am Loki and I want my throne. He got his throne. He got his throne, and he's alone. And that's the part that gets my heart. It's like he's alone. He's by himself.
At the end of time. At the end of time. He attacks, he realized his destiny, and it came at a huge cost. The
biggest cost you can take. Well, well, he's still alive, so it's not the biggest one, but it's like up there.
It's like he's the god in the MCU now. Like, it's crazy. He was a god, but now he's the god, and he's a hero. Might make him the most powerful being in the whole universe, or the multiverse in this case, which is just wild. But in any case, phenomenal show, great 2-part series. I mean, it's probably the best series that Marvel's put out on TV easily. I don't know if I can speak for these two gents. No question, huh? Is it your favorite?
Because of season 2, it was season 1 it was that third for me, but season 2 elevated this all the way to number 1.
Fair enough. Yeah, it was such a great 2-part story. Before we get into the Marvels, let's go ahead and catch up with the chat here because I'm seeing a lot of you coming in. Thank you to everybody watching this. Thank you to everybody watching the replay as well. It's a great time. Subscribe to all three of us if you haven't already. That would be awesome. Leo, great to see you, my friend. In terms of Jonathan Majors, people need to show Ezra Miller the same energy. Yeah.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
Balked.
Yeah, it sure did, but they didn't fire Ezra Miller. That's for yeah. Tomas, how you doing, my friend? Loki season 2 was perfection. The Marvels was mid. Aman Vellani carried that movie. We will get to Aman Vellani. Don't you worry. 80s kid from the bring on Doom. What are we thinking here? If Kang is gone, do you think Doom is the next big baddie in the MCU? No, Zack, who do you think it is?
I think it's they just confirmed that Michael Waldron is writing Kang Dynasty. They didn't change the name, so Kang is still around. I just don't want them to pivot to Doom unprepared. He's a villain that deserves seeds throughout the phases and build up. Him being in a Fantastic Four movie in the background, all this other stuff. Don't just throw him in there because just recast Jonathan Majors if it ends up being a bad turnout. Just get somebody else to play him. That's fine. They've done it 17 million times.
Yeah.
But yeah, Doom should be like a big villain later on after Secret Wars.
Yeah. It's a different situation though, because like usually if I see a big like blockbuster series recasting one of its big characters, it's mainly because the original actor had died, but this is a completely different situation because Jonathan Majors I feel like he's got time left on the clock. Maybe in more ways than one, but who knows? But we'll see what happens. God, Captain Marvel is a Disney princess now, canon, because she married that prince. God, you're the worst. You're the absolute worst. Like that. I'm not going to be able to unsee that. I'm really not going to be able to unsee that. I'm calling it He Who Remains is the true big bad. I'm not sure if I understand this comment. He Who Remains is a true big bad Kang. Oh, got it. Okay, so Jonathan Majors that we saw in this as He Who Remains was
the actual big bad
epitome Kang. Yeah, that makes sense. Here we go. I'm going to admit something. Yeah, Lindsay was watching it with me. I was freaked out too by the time slipping. I was I was freaked out too, but yeah. And then we'll go to that point where I actually was like, oh, heck yeah. It was just like, this is horror. I was scared for a minute. I was like, oh, cool. Fun stuff like that. Oh, he was operating through time slipping. Thank you, Leo. All right, later, Kal-El Daily. Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for coming in and seeing us tonight. But we have another big topic, my friends.
Oh boy!
They didn't just put out probably the best TV show in their canon. They put out another movie, believe it or not. They put out the Marvels over Veterans Day weekend, and we've had to let this one sit for a few weeks. Jacob is chomping at the bit. Would you like the floor first?
So I would like to begin. If Zack Millen, if you're out there in the space of time and Quantumania and whatever, if you're out there and if you're watching this, I was on his show and he asked, what is the projection you have for the Marvels? I was saying 320 million, and he said to me, wow, that's really low. Currently, it has 187.4 million.
Is that worldwide or domestically?
That's worldwide. That is what the Google tells me.
Oh my god.
It's worldwide.
Oh my god. That's heartbreaking.
So
I like the Marvels.
Let me just say this. I always say it, so I'm going to stand my ground. Box office doesn't tell me an opinion of a movie. That just says how much money it made. So, the Marvels. This is the first Marvel movie in a while I did not see twice. I saw it one time, and I said, I'm good. And let me say this. It is not a bad, horrible, garbage movie, but I will never say this is a great movie. And it is not a movie I'm going to rewatch a lot at all. I think in the future I said this in my review, I think when you go to Secret Wars, I think this movie feels such like a puzzle piece that it's literally a puzzle piece to me. It's nothing. This movie, the script is absolutely nothing. This main villain is hot garbage.
Oh
and
my god, this villain.
And the only reason this villain is in this movie is so the space-time can crack open, and that was it. That was it. And I just, but like, it was an entertaining movie. I enjoyed these three awesome women who don't deserve any freaking hate. They are all great in their roles. They are all really good. They're funny. Their chemistry. Honestly, I don't know if I can see Captain Marvel by herself ever again. After this movie, I need them three always together, honestly.
Yeah, and you know what? Yeah, I'm so glad you said the word chemistry to describe those three, because I'm seeing pictures of Brie Larson and Iman Vellani attending Spamalot on Broadway, and I'm like, yes, that's what I need, just dork bonding like that. But yeah, it's disheartening to see that this is getting like not enough money, because again, this is not a bad movie. I think it's a good movie, not a great movie though. Not a great movie by any stretch. I will hold my hand up right now, Attacks, and say that this movie is better than Captain Marvel. I would rather rewatch this movie over Captain Marvel any day of the week. I thought it was way more entertaining. I thought we got a lot more cute cat moments, and I am a big fan of cats, so I am down for that. I don't care if you're pedantic in the chat and you start calling them Flarkin just to correct me, but yeah, they're cats. They're played by CGI cats. But
it's cats.
Yeah, it's just cats. As long as you don't have Andrew Lloyd Webber write a musical about them, I'm fine with that. But yeah.
Oh no!
And let's have Taylor Swift play a cat. Taylor Swift's a cat with Idris Elba.
Cats, Taylor Swift's version.
Zack Attacks, I'm assuming you haven't seen Cats.
No. That's one I purposely avoided.
Good.
Especially the butthole version.
Oh no, yeah. But anyway, what were your initial thoughts on the Marvels, Attacks?
It's a flawed movie that I love. I thought it was great. I had a really fun time, but also I'm like, there's a lot of problems with this, and it's gonna get a lot of hate because they didn't execute it to perfection. Like if this movie was executed in a way that it was supposed to be, like an hour longer, everything was breathed out with the villain in a lot of the moments, this would be a top tier Marvel film. But because it looks like it was chopped down to hell, because all these scenes that were not in the film are like coming out on X, Twitter, or whatever you call it, and I'm like, that is cool. Why didn't you leave it in the movie? So I don't know what was the executive decision to cut all this stuff out and leave all the cool stuff out, all the emotional stuff out that could have elevated this movie to A tier. But I still had so much fun with it that I don't hate it at the least. It's so bright, it's so colorful. They focus on the heroes, and while the villain is lackluster, I don't think it's the actors or actually the villain's fault. I just think it's the time.
Yes,
because the motivations for the villain were really good, but we just didn't get any time to like get the villain to do anything that was super, super interesting.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Before I get into my next point, note to executives, please make sure you treat your artists the proper way, because at the end of the day, they are working for you to put out a passion project for you to feed the machine. Nia DaCosta did not deserve all the treatment that she got.
You stole the words out of my mouth.
Yeah. The actors don't deserve all the treatment they had over the past number of years. I'm so glad that they finally came to a resolution and the actors strike is over. But it's, what else can you do? Oh, thank you. I'll take the golf clap. But I mean, one thing I would like to say about this, Brie Larson again showed up. I mean, a lot of people might hate on her performance in the first movie. That's fine. But I mean, she got physically fit. I don't know if she was like skinnier in this movie or if it was just me, but
she got skinnier. No, yeah. Her social media, she went real skinny and was working out all the time. I noticed it very much.
Yeah. It was like a whole series on her social media of her like getting toned.
Yes.
It was like a whole different person. And I mean,
Yeah.
props to her. Props to her.
Good for her.
Yeah, I thought she was a lot more fun in this movie too. Some people I've talked to have criticized them for basically making Captain Marvel a ditz when she shouldn't be a ditz, but I mean, you give her a personality that she didn't have in the first movie, you know? And it kind of makes her a bit more relatable and a bit more like a human being, you know? Even though she's not.
Was intentional in the first film. Like she was not supposed to have a personality because that was the whole point of what they were doing to her. And I feel like a lot of people didn't understand that with the first film, and it makes more sense now. She's opened up more. It's like, how long is that? She was like, the first movie was in the 90s. This movie is in 2027. I don't know where the MCU is anymore. So it's at least like 30 years later.
They might be in the current day.
Because I think Endgame was like a year ahead of us. So I think it's like maybe 2025, 2026 in the MCU by now. But I think they don't care about that no more. They don't want to know what the year is, so they can do whatever they want. But it makes more sense that she's different. She's more fun. She has more of a personality because so much time has passed. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't stay the same after being brainwashed.
Crazy. And I mean, I feel like this whole performance of her can be summed up with one image, and that would be her just flying through space, and she's got Goose on her shoulder just peeking behind her. And I'm like, that is all I need for you to tell me how much more fun this movie is than the first Captain Marvel. Like, that is all I needed to know. But Jacob also mentioned that this is a puzzle piece movie, and I feel like a big reason why this movie was not as financially successful is, we talked about it earlier, we alluded to it. You basically, in order to understand everything that's going on, like every single little detail, you need to have watched WandaVision, Ms. Marvel, and the first Captain Marvel. Like that's a lot. WandaVision was 9 episodes too. I kept thinking it was 6, but yeah, no, it's, point being, a lot of content that people have to consume before going to the theater. And I don't think people have the attention span to do that anymore, that's why you got to make sure you watch them when they come out. Because otherwise, if you put it off and you put it off and you put it off, it's like, I understand people don't have the time of day. Like, a lot of people don't have the time of day that some other people do, but yeah, if they're
it's just weird to me because these shows are less than an hour. They come out once a week. You tell me you can't just watch one episode and then move on with your day and then watch the next episode next week. Like, I never understood that thing. Like, it's homework. They're not telling you to watch WandaVision, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel 3 weeks in a row before the Marvels comes out. And you're like, wait, hold on. I don't have time. This has been like 5 years worth of content that came out week by week. And you go, people watch CSI and NCIS every single week. All the time, and don't ever complain about it.
People still watch crazy stuff every week. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say I've been watching Survivor every week anymore, but like back when that was the hot show, I used to watch that week by week. I was hooked on that. The Walking Dead, I was hooked on that every week. But you know, it's just, I don't know. I don't understand people's behaviors anymore. But you know, this was, even though we just talked about all that homework stuff, I still feel like the movie did a decent enough job recapping the events of Monica Rambeau in WandaVision, just kind of telling you who she is. It especially did a good job of telling you who Kamala Khan was.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip with. I'm gonna disagree, but flip it. I agree with Iman 100%. I don't think they did a great job with Rambo, though. I think her saying one quick sentence as a joke in the movie, when she's like, "Oh, a witch," and she's like, "Oh, okay." But in reality, if you watch WandaVision, that shit was like really good. You should go watch it. But like in the movie, they made it like, "Oh yeah, a witch," But Iman, I think the whole animation when you first see her, I was like, "That's Miss Marvel." Like, that's Miss Marvel.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this movie is probably meant to make Iman Vellani a superstar in the public eye. Because, again, it's unfortunate. Ms. Marvel is a great TV show. And I doubt that half the MCU fan base actually have the patience to sit down and watch it every week. But it's just, You know, like,
Yeah, it's the lowest viewed show
aggravating.
out of all the MCU shows.
And it's
Unfortunately,
great. It's a great TV show,
It's
I
really
think.
great. It
But
has some really creative stuff in there. I'm a big fan of like coming of age stories and things like that. And like Netflix has a show called Never Have I Ever, and it looks like an MCU version of that show. And I was like, oh, I love this. But people were like, oh, I'm not a teen girl. I'm like, you don't have to be a teen girl to watch this. You've been a teenager before.
yeah. So
You love coming of age, but you haven't seen The Sandlot.
Yeah,
I never heard of it. No one's ever suggested it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me talk to you.
You're killing me, Smalls. Yeah. So the whole gimmick with this team and the reason why they're coming together is literally playing off the post credits of Ms. Marvel. At the very end, Captain Marvel, Carol ends up in Kamala's bedroom, and it turns out that these three ladies have the power to switch places, and that leads to some pretty nifty action sequences. I love the one in Kamala's house. I really do. It's a lot of fun.
It's the best fight scene in the whole movie, in my opinion.
Yeah. I thought the climax was pretty good. I mean, I love the fact that they are like they're so in sync as a team, you know, and like the fact that
I agree with that, but I think the house environment and then her switching between a spaceship and then her switching into space with Nick Fury, I thought to me that was more like, holy crap, like they can't do anything together. So I much preferred like how hectic it was. But no, both are good, but I think I like that one just a little more.
I think the piggyback off you on that is the fact that it was in more spaces. I think the final fight was just in that contained ship and they didn't go many places. Here we were like in her house, outside her house, up in the air, to a ship, back on Fury's ship, and he's like fighting too. Like so many things had to go together for that scene to work, and it was all perfect.
And it was just, I admire the Marvels for how creative it was. You know, not just in terms of the action sequences, but also in terms of making you laugh. Because Kamala Khan,
Nia DaCosta.
Yes, overall, Kamala Khan, I think, stole the entire movie. I mean, just in terms of how enthusiastic she was to be there, and the fact that Iman Vellani is a hardcore fan, like all three of us. So I think she knows, like, to have, like, I don't want to say live vicariously through Iman Vellani at this point, but the fact that we actually have a fan on the inside, like, knowing how it all works, it's like, I think that'll just make the product better. I really do.
Just the part of her, like, mom saying, yeah, Captain Marvel's in your bedroom. Like, that scene and her just like, what? It was like that realization of, like, I wasn't here to, oh my God, she was here. Oh my God. And then she said, it's happening. Like, she's imagined this in her head so long of, like, I'm finally going to become an Avenger.
I'm sorry, you said Captain Marvel? You know?
What did I say?
No, I was alluding to.
He's quoting the movie.
I was quoting.
You were right.
Oh yeah, that's a really fun scene. I love her reactions to Goose and everything Goose is doing. Like the fact.
It was funny in the trailer, and it was still funny in the movie.
I agree.
And even though the CGI, again, it's a bit iffy in some aspects of the cats and how they can like spit out all these tentacles to eat people. Goose is like throwing out the Tesseract in the first movie. Like it's, I don't know. I can't help but get a chuckle out of it. I have a question for Jacob Hubbard. No more and more we're talking about it. This feels to me, and I don't know about you, but it feels very much like more of a phase 1, phase 2 Marvel formula compared to like a phase 3, you know, like, because it's very contained. The heroes are all extremely likable. The action sequences are cool. It's a pretty zippy runtime, just like the Incredible Hulk was. And the villain, very forgettable, just like all those early Marvel movies. So I don't know. I don't know if anybody's noticing a pattern here, but yeah, that's just what I think.
I think the Marvels is taking everything that previous Marvel movies have done, which in phase 4 is dealing with the multiverse, is dealing with all these characters and dealing with so much. This movie felt more of a personal Marvel's superhero between one character with two other characters, Captain Marvel, and one villain. there's just so much in the script that is needed for the story to work, and what the villain is doing, and then what you're supposed to do and set up in the ending, which we haven't even got to the mid-credit scene or the ending yet. We didn't even mention that stuff yet. So really,
No.
I agree with the character and the superhero part of phase 1, but I just think this movie works too much off other things. Because phase 1, I mean, you were like, who's Thor? Oh, that's cool. Who's Hawkeye? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And then you
It was all
build,
exposition.
and then
Yeah.
you build off in phase 2, and then all that kind of stuff. And like, you never really had other characters meeting face to face in the first couple phases, unless it was an Avengers movie. This
Mhm.
movie is a solo sequel movie with other characters and other stories. So that's
Yeah.
to me the crunch of why this movie has the struggle, because it has so much to balance. And like Zack Attack says, I think this movie could have easily been 30 minutes longer. Easily.
For more character
Yeah.
development, not just on the heroic side. But
Yeah.
Attacks. You want to talk about this villain a little bit?
Yeah. Don't even remember her name is. I'm not gonna lie. It's not because it's bad. It's just a lot. It's not a cool name.
She's the
It's not-
fiance to Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Darbin. I think it's Darbin. I think I got that right.
Darben.
Yes, I like her performance. I think that she's not on the screen as much as she should be, but the few times that she is, you can feel this like festering anger of what happened to her people. And when she's talking to the Skrulls, when she's talking directly to Captain Marvel, when she's just like, "Give me what I need," I'm very impatient. Like that was kind of the feel I got. She wanted to get this done as fast as possible because she's been waiting for so long, but she just didn't become super interesting because like they chopped up a lot of her scenes. Like even when she's talking to the Skrulls in that scene, she starts to get interesting what she's saying, and then it just stops. And a lot of that with her.
I would like this chat. I dare this chat to name me a more boring Marvel villain than this one. Because I feel like, to me,
Malcolm.
this villain is the most boring Marvel villain and most one-note Marvel villain we've gotten since Ronin. Like, it's crazy that I'm saying that right now, because Marvel was doing so good with all their villains too. Like, they were on such a hot streak of captivating villains that you understood why they were doing the things they were doing. And now you just have a villain where, according to Jacoby P., it's just basically the same plan as the Spaceballs villain.
Wow. That's great. I had not heard that.
I don't know what to say to that, man. I really don't know what to say to that. But
that is a great pull. I love that. They don't steal air in this movie, but that Jacoby P for the MVP, I never would have referenced that. That's a good one.
They kind of do steal air in this movie.
Well, yeah,
they stole that atmosphere.
Yeah, they do actually. Yeah, they do. Shoot. Because they stole the water, they try to steal the sun. Yeah, they do.
And the Skrulls planet, they steal the atmosphere. So they cut.
Yeah,
it lines up.
Damn, Spaceballs canon.
Everybody is listing off boring Marvel villains in the chat now. Fantastic. That's what I love. Interaction. Malekith, Jacoby P is pulling out from the Dark World. Crow from Eternals was bad, Spoiler King says. Whiplash was just super bad. Yeah, I would disagree. Whiplash is probably one of the best Damien Chazelle movies I've ever seen in my life, but
that was funny.
Yeah, that was good. I didn't see that coming. Ooh, that's a good one. The last one, Taskmaster. Oh my god, that's the worst. Darbin, I'd take Darbin way over Taskmaster.
Really?
Yeah, what?
At least
she didn't do anything.
At least,
honestly,
no, she had some badass action sequences, man. Like the fact that like I would rather.
I take Darbin. I think Darbin's a better villain.
All right.
Hey, I'll say this. I think Darbin's a better villain than Jude Law in the first movie.
Oh, yeah. I kind of forgot Jude Law was in the first movie.
Exactly.
Forgettable.
I'm shocked that he didn't even show up in this at all.
See, Zack Attack said it correctly. I think the performer of Darbin, again, I want to know her name because she was good in this movie. She played
Zoe
a
Ashton.
villain.
you.
She
Zoe
played a
Ashton.
she did
Yeah.
her part. She did her part. Now, in the ending, when they're fighting, and obviously she's got stabbed in the side, and they had the choice of saving her and whatever thing. I think that could have been such an interesting character move, but they said, "Oh, we're gonna make you a baddie." So
Yeah.
I think she's not. Yeah, Taskmaster's worse. I'm sorry, Zach Goller. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, but
Both
hey,
villains in that movie was not great. Taskmaster
surprised-
and then the fat guy.
I'm surprised nobody's saying Ronan is the most boring Marvel villain because he's in a movie with the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is one of my favorite Marvel movies ever. And the fact that he's not even remotely close to being as entertaining as those blokes is just mind-blowing to me. It's mind-blowing.
I think that they
but-
carry the movie so much that people don't mind Ronan.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to say I think the Guardians' first introduction, I think it kind of worked with how much we needed to learn about them. Their villain was good enough. This to me, like I said, because we haven't got to more of the ending part, I just think, what's her name again? Darbin. Yeah, Darbin. I just think she only reason in this movie besides stealing Spaceball's evil plan. When she breaks open the multiverse planet system thing, that to me is the only reason she's in the movie is that moment.
Yeah, just to crack open the multiverse and send Monica Rambeau just blasting through it. But before we get to that real quick, I would like to shout out an honorable mention for favorite scene in this movie. The fact that Nick Fury is commandeering this plan to basically have his whole team escape, and the fact that they're just having the cats just swallow up all these
Amazing.
people. It was awesome. It was so awesome. I don't care
That's
what
one of my
anybody
favorite
says.
scenes in the MCU.
It was. I don't
Do
know
not run away. Let them swallow you.
I don't.
That was amazing.
The most adorable moment is when Nick Fury's telling Captain Marvel the plan, and she's like looking at him, and she's like, "Come here, kitty."
Yeah.
What's great about that is that Brie Larson is allergic to cats.
Really?
Fantastic.
Yes. That's why
Oh,
she's not with the Flurkin a lot in the first movie. But I think that they did something. They changed the cat to cats that are not hypoallergenic. Is that the word?
Oh.
I just assumed it was all CGI, but I mean, I could be wrong. I could be very wrong.
Before we move on from that joke, I want to say, I heard people say about there's like two big joke scenes in this movie, and if you like them, you're gonna like this movie. If you don't like either one, this movie's gonna be trash.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with both Zacks. I think the cat joke is actually funny. Like that's like we gotta fit in this one ship. How do we do that? Well, we have 100 baby cats that all can swallow you but not die. I will say though, I was not a fan of the singing planet joke. That was not for me. I was like, that was like cringe.
Oh
to
my
me.
god, yeah. They just turned it into a musical. I'm like, I'm a sucker for musicals.
I know you are.
Where does this fit in? Like, in the grand scheme of things, it's just showing you, okay, we're going to teach you a little bit more about Captain Marvel's background. And this is playing off of Tomas's joke earlier that Captain Marvel is actually a Disney princess, but I'm going to just blow off that blasphemy right now. But yeah, I'm with you. The singing planet really wasn't necessary in the grand scheme of things, even though it was fun.
I'm kind of mixed on it because I'm tired of the MCU going to different planets and it's just like Earth, but just skins of different aliens, and there's nothing different about it. Like if we have all these vast planets and there's not a planet that people just sing the talk. I think that was interesting. My only problem with it was the editing of the scene and the fact that Brie Larson can sing. We know that from Scott Pilgrim.
Yep.
I don't know if they just took the first take of her singing, but it wasn't great. And it could, if she nailed it, like she sung her heart out and was great and everything like that, I think people would have less issue with the scene. But the fact that it didn't feel like they put their full foot and effort into it makes it feel like, oh yeah, just kind of just did this.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there. So do you want to talk about this finale real quick? Yeah, go ahead, Jacob.
I also want to say, I don't know if either one of you knew this. I didn't know it until I saw them, or before I entered the Marvels. Apparently, the guy who's playing the prince, the one that she's married to, apparently he's very, very, very famous, like pop star singer. I didn't know that. But apparently, a lot of people who were fans of him were really disappointed of him in the movie. And I was like, I don't even know who that is. But hey, he sings, and that apparently that's what he does in real life.
Yeah. If he does that for a living and he does it well, I'm certainly not going to stop him. And if he wants to use those talents to lend it to a big blockbuster Marvel movie, then that's fine. That's fine. You know, I'm stretching when I.
Let's get this
stretching
finale.
it when I say blockbuster. Yeah. So Monica closes up this portal, right? They defeat the villain. Yeah. And Monica's trapped in another universe, you know, and now you know, Kamala Khan and Carol Danvers are there. And it's a great like mentor protege relationship here when they get in Carol's old fighter jet. It's just, it's so cute. It's so cute. That's the best word I can use for it is cute. It's a really nice resolution. So she gifts Kamala's family a brand new house because of that whole ruckus that they made in that opening sequence where they destroy Kamala Khan's family's house. But now we see that Monica Rambeau is strapped up in bed. Her mother is there. And in this universe, her mother is the Captain Marvel. Yeah. which is wild.
The binary version.
Yeah. Non-binary version. It's wild to see that. Lashana Lynch too. I love Lashana Lynch. She's a great actress.
Well, she just keeps coming back. She's like, oh, another multiverse? I'm coming.
But the thing that everybody I'm sure wants us to talk about, and the biggest ramifications of this movie, I feel like, the Doctor comes into the room. And he's, you know, I recognize the voice and I saw the blue hands and I'm like, there's no freaking way that's Kelsey Grammer. There's no freaking way. As a matter of fact, it is Kelsey Grammer. You know, one by one, Kevin Feige is just collecting X-Men actors on his Infinity Gauntlet and just bringing them into the MCU. Jacob, do you want the floor?
So I'm a little disappointed in you, my friend, because you didn't mention my wife, Haley Steinfeld, in the scene before. My wife.
My God!
That's why I was excited. Is because I saw my wife. I love her.
Yes.
She's my celebrity crush. I love her.
Haley Steinfeld. Yes. So thank you. Before I forget and just act like a total dingbat, you know? Kamala Khan does come across Kate Bishop, Haley Steinfeld, and Jacob Hubbard melted in his seat, I'm sure. And they start, it's so funny because Kamala Khan literally approaches Kate Bishop when she's coming in from a secret mission. And Kamala Khan is a fangirl. She is approaching Kate Bishop like Nick Fury. It's like, it's so cool. It is such a cool, like, callback there.
My headcanon is that she got the tablet, looked up, like, how do you recruit Iron Man? And it was like a recording of him doing it. She's like, I'm going to do it just like that.
No, she just found a clip of the movie on YouTube and she just decided to do that, you know, if that existed in this world. But Josh Allen, lucky bastard. But anyway, I
hate you.
I'm more excited for the Young Avengers than I am anything else from all these after credit scenes. This is going to be exciting, man.
Young Avengers. So you have Ms. Marvel and Kate Bishop confirmed. Who else do you think comes in? Who else do we have? Up Cassie Lang.
Daughter.
They brought up Cassie Lang. That's right. Yeah.
They're going to find a way to get Kid Loki in there.
I don't see why people put that in the list. He wasn't like that interesting. I think like Thor's daughter has a better chance than him.
Mm-hmm. We need some boys. I don't want the MCU people flaming Young Avengers. It's a lot of girls already. If you think about it, Cassie, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel. Probably going to be. I don't know. He's already an Avenger.
I know, but you know, he's Tom Holland, so he's like 26 7. I mean, he's gonna be in the
I-
fucking next 5 movies probably.
Guess, yeah. I don't know,
Yeah,
just
no.
Patriot, I guess, but they haven't even really made him Patriot yet. Maybe in the next Captain America movie, we'll
Maybe
get him.
that's a possibility right there. I like that. I like that a lot.
Wicked, one of Wanda's kids. I'm hearing is
Yep.
going to be an
Mhm.
Agatha
Yep.
show. Maybe Hulk's son. We don't know how old he is.
Oh
Just
God.
hopefully they hold on. I know. Just fix his CGI.
Yes. And
Please.
his hairdo.
What
Please.
about the kid Black Panther?
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
That'd
That's a
be interesting to
possibility.
start him off like that. Yeah.
Nobody's talking about the kid Black Panther at all. And I'm
I
like,
forgot about him.
bro.
I'm
That'd be
sorry.
perfect. Like a
that's
because by the time they get it out, he's gonna be he'll grow, he'll get taller.
Mhm.
Ironheart. Ironheart.
Ironheart
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, but Ironheart already has her own series.
Not
Like,
yet.
Not yet, but is she? I don't know. Ironheart is definitely a possibility, but wouldn't they just make her full on an Avenger, or would they team her up with the Young Avengers?
I'm just thinking she's young Avengers.
Yeah.
That's what
I think
I'm
if you're
I'm
under
thinking young
30,
people.
you're
yeah,
in.
under 30, you're in.
Yeah,
30 under 30.
Shuri, absolutely not. No, Shuri's an Avenger. Shuri is the Black Panther. So
Yeah. I think she's
Yeah.
gonna be with the big boys.
yeah, 150,000%. She's gonna be with the big boys. If you guys had not seen Wakanda Forever and you didn't see her do her thing, she's definitely an Avenger. 100%. Not a young
she was
Avenger.
amazing in that movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, she was. They really they pulled it off, man. But yeah, Young Avengers is confirmed. Do you think it's going to be a TV show, or do you think it's going to be a movie?
Movie. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
movie.
I think they will assemble in Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. We'll start seeing it, and then we'll get
Yep.
a Young Avengers film after.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
that
100% agree.
that honestly has the potential to be like the Spider-Man Far From Home of this saga. Like that could be the epilogue. You know, that could be the epilogue to
Yes.
Endgame.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe they just take on. I don't know. I don't know who you could have as a villain in that, but like it's just we gotta make sure we have the team first, and I think we have a good framework. I mean, even though Cassie Lang just suddenly had powers, even though she was in prison, and that was never really explained. Like, yeah, you know, I hope they explain how she got her powers. I really hope they
Screw that
explain how.
movie.
Yeah,
Iman Vellani's been doing a
movie?
bunch of interviews, and she said, "You hate Quantumania?
Quantumania is the worst Marvel MCU movie.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Give me Thor: Dark World. Give me spoiler alert for anyone here, whoever's watching. Just wait till my top 10 worst. Quantumania, you're there.
Oh no!
Wow,
Dude, I don't like that movie. I do not like that movie.
See, that's why I love Jacob too, because I know like he puts out his like top 10 worst of the year list, and everybody just gets so salty when he reveals that surprise entry. But it's
they
like,
do.
yeah, he put Uncharted on last year's list, and I'm like,
That
I
movie
liked
sucked.
Uncharted. I liked
Sucked.
Uncharted.
I love those video games, and that is not the video game.
He's freaking
Not
out.
the video game. That is not the video game.
Over Love and Thunder. Oh, Spoiler Kings. Oh, you're making.
I think Love and Thunder is better than Quantumania.
I do too.
It made me laugh.
Yeah, I think
I'll take those goats over what the hell was going on. And
not to get too off topic, but like Love and Thunder, I think is a lot better than people give it credit for. Yeah, it's flawed, 100%. But a lot of movies are flawed. And I had a great time with Love and Thunder last year. I was very tempted to put it on my top 10 last year, but people would have probably bullied me into saying, "Hey, no, you can't do that.
How dare you? This movie sucks."
Jelena Belova might join Young Avengers after Thunderbolts. I just want to see her and Kate together again. I don't know. I mean, I think
it'll be a thing where they keep butting heads with each other because they like each other, but they're on the opposite sides.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love more interaction between those two because I mean, yeah, again, Florence Pugh, you know, more of her, please, and everything.
Yes.
But yeah, so this whole ramification of like seeing the Beast and seeing Kelsey Grammer also, again, you're collecting X-Men actors like they're Infinity Stones themselves. Like you've already got Hugh Jackman confirmed to be coming back as Wolverine. I mean, what were your like? Because my friend was sitting right next to me as we were watching this, and this was his reaction just looking at it. Just Kelsey Grammer comes on and he's like, "What?" You know, and I'm like, "Yeah, Marvel can still pull off the surprises, man. They still can." Would never have expected Kelsey Grammer, but does this mean we get more of them? Does this mean we get more of them attacks?
Deadpool 3. 1000%.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is, I think, it's going to be the start of the Fox X-Men send-off. I think that's Hugh Jackman's the big pull, but I think we're going to start seeing that original team. Come back from the first 3 movies, and maybe even the second team from the second set of movies, just plugged in here and there. Not even for a long time. Maybe just like a hey, cool. May get shredded real quick because they're a variant or whatever. And they'll show up in Secret Wars and we'll have like a nice send-off, because without those X-Men movies, we would have no MCU. So I think, and Kevin Feige worked on those movies, so he has a love for them. I think that he will celebrate them, do his own versions of them, show like, hey, this is what they should be. And remember X-Men, and then when he does his brand new X-Men, people will be like, okay, at least we got the send-off for this. So now I don't feel hurt that you casting a new Wolverine.
Yeah, I don't want them to cast a new Wolverine. I know people are theorizing like Taron Egerton and like freaking
Daniel Radcliffe.
God, yeah. No, hell no. He does not fit. There's no freaking way.
No one thought Hugh Jackman fit because he was doing theater and singing and dancing.
That is true.
But the difference is Daniel Radcliffe is short. Like Wolverine is like
Wolverine is short.
Wolverine is short.
I mean, I love Harry Potter and everything. I love it, but I would probably I could suspend my disbelief more if Taron Egerton was Wolverine than Daniel Radcliffe, because I could actually believe if I put those two side by side, who's more likely to kick your ass? Taron Egerton, 100%, 100%. You know, but yeah. I mean, Jacob? Who do you think else could they pull from those old movies?
So just because we live in a social media world and I go on Twitter at least once a day, I think it's confirmed. Okay, I'm not gonna say confirmed. So what is his name? The guy who plays Cyclops, James Marsden. What is his name?
Yeah.
So this is gonna sound such like a theory nerd, but I'm sorry. This is what I read. He was in the area of when they filmed Deadpool 3 before the strike ended. He was there. He was at some race thing, and so it was in the same area. I think we're getting him. I 1000% think we're getting Halle Berry as Storm one more time. I think we'll get. I don't know if we'll get Patrick Stewart again because we've killed him so many times. I think he's good, but I mean, we all saw the photo online. I mean, I think we did. I'm saying this right now for both Zacks. I'm sorry, but we all saw the 20th Century Fox logo in the sand. So obviously they're going to deal with we're going to literally kill off 20th Century Fox in literal ways. I'm not gonna be shocked if we don't see most of people from the 2000 X-Men movies, honestly.
Yeah, like Jennifer Lawrence, like Jacoby P is suggesting.
I don't know about J-Lo, but maybe the other actress, maybe.
Yeah, that would be a hell of a pull, though. That would be a hell of a pull because Jennifer Lawrence is starting to kind of make a comeback. No Hard Feelings, fun movie, fun comedy, even though the premise is a little bit iffy. But I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing Jennifer Lawrence again. I mean, sue me. I'm sorry.
It'd be cool to see her and the other actors talk to each other or something like
Rebecca Romaine.
I would love to see Michael Fassbender. I would freak out if I saw Michael Fassbender in Deadpool 3.
Can you see him and then who's the guy who plays the older version? Ian
McKellen. Yep.
Ian McKellen?
Yeah, just talking to each other. It would be cool to have those moments you can rest or something like that. That'd be awesome. Give the younger ones closure.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's so many possibilities. The door is wide open for all these X-Men to come in. And the Fantastic Four casting is starting to get announced finally, and it's been confirmed that it is in fact Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards.
That's crazy.
Did not think of him one iota when I was fan casting, not one bit. So
not one bit. That's the last person I thought about.
The more and more I think about it, though, the more sense it makes, because Pedro Pascal is a big name with Disney right now.
Big
he's
name.
Like the highest paid TV star of all time, I think, statistically. Coming in and doing Reed Richards, it's like, yeah, he looks the part. Like, he's about the age that they're looking for. He just did awesome as Joel, and he's still going to do awesome work as Joel. So it's
for 2 episodes.
Yeah, for 2 episodes. Wow. Pedro would make a better Zorro. Oh.
I don't know better Zorro, but he would be a good Zorro based off of Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yeah. Leo also wants Wanda in Deadpool. I mean,
they keep talking about her character. She's not dead. I'm saying that right now. But I just don't see her being an important story in that movie. I'm going to be honest. Deadpool 3, I'm excited as hell for. First off, because we haven't had a Deadpool movie since 2018. Think about that. It's been a while. So I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see
years at that point.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Ryan Reynolds again. So first off, that's what I'm excited for. And I'm excited to see Hugh Jackman one last time as my guy. But a little bit of me is like, please don't be just cameos. Like, be a reason why we're killing the 20th Century Fox. Because they're okay, obviously Deadpool is breaking the fourth wall. So we're going to have that kind of humor. It's rated R. By the end of that movie, Ryan Reynolds is going to be in the MC universe somehow. We can all guarantee that. That's what's going to happen. Right?
He is.
My dream for this movie is to kind of adapt Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe in some way, somehow. And maybe it's Deadpool kills Fox or something like that. And because I'm hearing they already kind of confirmed Elektra to be there from the Daredevil movies.
Yep.
Yeah, Jennifer Garner. Jennifer Garner.
She was part of that Fox thing. So I can see them kind of saying, okay, we can't do Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, but we can do Deadpool kills the Fox Universe. And Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is there to like tell him like, you need to stop.
Well, we shall certainly see what happens, but I feel like the Marvels, it was good. I think it's another decent step in the right direction for Marvel, even though it's not really breaking the bank for them. It's probably losing them money in the grand scheme of things, but I mean, I enjoyed it. I think it's better than Captain Marvel, boys. I really do.
I agree. I would rather watch the Marvels over Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, to me, is a movie that felt like an introduction to a character that didn't have a good landing. And I think in this movie, I said in my review, I think I can never see Captain Marvel without these two women. I think she works together so well in this movie. I think Nia DaCosta did a fantastic job, even though Zack Goller, I know, I don't like the Candyman movie from 2021, whatever. I think it's a trash movie. She's really good as director, and she did a good job in this movie. I hope everyone knows that Nia DaCosta did her job. She did a good job at it, and I want everyone to shut up about her because people keep saying, you left to go do a movie when you were doing post-production. Steven Spielberg left Jurassic Park and went to do a Schindler's List. Shut up, people.
She also talked about it. Someone asked her about it. She was just
like,
the movie was done, and she didn't leave it. She was just doing it remote. She still was working on the Marvels, but it was done in a way where she didn't have to physically be there. And I'm like, F variety for that.
People are, we just can't please them, I guess. But
besides the media outlets, I agree. I think it's an okay movie. I think you like it more than me. I'm gonna buy it on 4K. Hopefully, the physical media is still there for me to buy it. But I think
don't remind me.
I think overall, the Marvels, I'm gonna stand by it. I think when in 2 years from now, whenever we pick up more of this, the Fox, and after we see Deadpool 3, I just feel like this movie is going to feel like a Thor: Dark World, a puzzle piece, another setup movie for this to come. That's what I just feel like it's gonna be. But I still enjoyed it.
It's a puzzle piece movie filled with puzzle pieces for sure. Yeah, screw the media for making Nia DaCosta the bad guy. I agree, Jacoby. But yeah, Attacks. Any final thoughts on the Marvels?
I think that this was Marvel's most riskiest movie that they've done so far, having 3 female leads, which they never had before. Having you bank on seeing 2 shows and to really understand some of these characters, and doing this kind of fun, flippy sci-fi thing, which we've never seen before. You'll probably see stuff like that in cartoons, comics, and stuff like that, but we've never seen that brought to like live action. They just did a lot of risky things in here that I appreciated. I just wish the studio didn't chop it up so much that people had the rights to complain about it, but I still loved it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it was a lot of fun. Doesn't really hold a candle to Guardians 3 in my opinion, but it's still a good shock, it's still very colorful Marvel fun, that's for sure. But gentlemen, I'll let you go one at a time, but Attacks, where can they find you? Where can the viewers find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Zack Attack Reviews, as you see here, my YouTube channel, where I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, ranking lists, live discussions just like this. Going to be having these 2 guys on the channel eventually in the beginning of the year. Hopefully that's going to be real fun. And if you want to hit me up on the social media, see what I'm talking about, you can follow me on Letterboxd, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and Instagram at Zack Attack RVS, because reviews is too long.
There you go. X. Yeah, I refuse to call it X. It's Twitter, but
yeah, it's Twitter.
Jacob Hubbard, where can they find you?
The name Mr. Zack Goller just said, you just click it on YouTube, look up my name, and you will find, hopefully, a me, which you can find me doing movie reviews. In the next hour, my Godzilla -1 review will be dropping. Go see that movie, because that movie is awesome. You got a ton of videos coming out for December. I also will be doing a lot of school, but I will continue doing reviews, don't worry. And you can also find me on Twitter /X at Jacob_Hubby, which I do tweets, usually, kind of, not really.
Awesome. So go subscribe to those 2 lovely humans over here that you will definitely be seeing on my channel again in the very near future. Hit that subscribe button again for me down at the bottom one last time. Hit that thumbs up, smash the like button. Guys, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to the live chat. Thank you to all of you watching the replay as well. It's been so much freaking fun. As far as what you can expect from me going forward, I announced that I was going to do a Schindler's List review for its 30th anniversary. I'm going to put up a poll, probably meaning I'm going to be reviewing Die Hard over the Christmas season, even though it's not a Christmas movie, but whatever.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. So yeah. Other than that, I mean, you got Wonka coming out, which is getting awesome reviews. Thank God. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Paul King. Everybody was crapping on the trailer, but yeah, looks to be a really fun time. Yeah, I guess I'll go see Aquaman too. That's out there. Even though I don't really want to sit in a theater and watch it. I'll do it. The Iron. Everybody, yeah, I'm calling it right now. Iron Claw is going to be one of my favorite movies of the year. I'll definitely be talking about that one for sure. Yeah, so lots more to come, guys. Lots more live streams to come. Stay classy, y'all. Thanks, guys.